Hey everybody. Integration by parts is a really tough one, and while I like what the video has to say, there was a part that they didn't really talk about. So I figured I'll just come on here and do a video for you, and hopefully it helps. If you have more questions after this, after you've tried a few practice problems and maybe checked your answers and you feel like this is still not making sense, you can give me a holler. So this is kind of my shorthand with the definition. So if you're given an integral in the form of the integral of u dv, and that might seem a little odd right now the way this is written, so just hang in there, where you can't use u substitution. So we've had a couple interesting ones where we've had integral of x and square root of like 2x minus 1, where we did u substitution and it didn't give us x and we couldn't cancel it out, so we had to do some other interesting substitution things. So then we had to use and all that, like you might remember that. But there's another way, like if we have the integral of x squared times cosine x dx. Well, if we tried to do that using u substitution, what would we use for u? We could use cosine, but then we're getting out sine and there's no sine to cancel. So this is a method that you learn so that you can figure out how to do problems where they don't give this to you. So like we've only given you some problems of integration, like the ones that you can do with the rules that we've given you. Obviously, we haven't given you all the rules yet. So, now we're going to continue to give you rules. Fortunately, for those of you doing just Calc 1, this will be the last rule that you learn for integration. But if you continue on in calculus and other math courses, you'll learn other ways to do integrals as well. So those are just examples of like oddball problems, and we're going to get into that a little bit more deeply here as we go on to this. So the formula basically here is if you have the integral of u dv, that is equal to u times v, which would be the antiderivative of dv, minus the integral of v du being the derivative of u. So you choose part of your equation to be u, and you choose the other part to be dv. That can be a little conflict. What do I choose? Where do I go? I don't know how to do this. So this is something that they put online. Like I've seen that, this is, I don't know, whoever taught this years ago, this is what they came up with. You should look for log functions. You should look for inverse trig functions, algebraic functions, trig functions, and exponential functions for what you should be, and you should kind of do it in that order. But I don't know. I don't remember ever learning that. I didn't ever find it helpful. So I'll give you what I found helpful, and you can go from there. So this is how I explain it. I try to pick a function u that will decrease, meaning if I take the derivative, it's going to eventually go away. Like for example, an algebraic equation of 3x, I don't know, 3x squared. If I choose that for my u, then my du gets me 6x. So it decreased. It got me a simpler function. Whereas if I would have made my dv equal to 3x squared dx, then when I do the antiderivative, I'm going to get v equals x to the third, which just made this bigger. So we want to choose the right functions to work for us. So I'm just going to erase that because I want to take this one here and show you how I look at this one. So here are two functions that would not work for u substitution. Obviously, we always want to pull from what the simplest thing we know first, like doing power rule and then u substitution, and now we're going to go into this integration by parts. So when I'm looking at this, based on what I just told you, you might say, hey, let's use x to the third. So let's just kind of go with that for a second. So if we make u equal to x to the third, so this is going to be our u then, this portion. And then this portion right here would be our dv if we're going with this example. So just hang on, we're going to go through this example and then I'm going to show you why it does not work. So if I were to continue doing the derivative of u, I'd get 3x squared dx, which makes perfect sense. That's great. However, do you know the integral, or the antiderivative, I should say, of natural log of x? The answer to that should be no, you don't. You don't know the integral of that. So you know the derivative of natural log of x, but you don't know the integral. You can look it up. There is a problem, I think, on the homework that has to do with this. So you will look it up, but you'll see it's not pleasant and it doesn't make this go away. So this was a poor choice, okay? If you get into this, then you go, whoops, I didn't do that correctly. Let me try again. So let us try again. Let us go like this and switch what we're doing then. Let's do our dv is going to be this x to the third dx, and our u will be ln x. So u equals natural log of x. So du equals 1 over x dx. And then we're going to say dv is equal to x to the third dx, and we're going to take the antiderivative. So that's going to be x to the fourth, 1/4 out front. Okay, so now let's go back to that formula. I'm going to write it down for you here. Whoops, I got to write the actual stuff first. So remember, it's uv minus the integral of v du. So what is my u? My u is natural log of x. My v is 1/4 x to the fourth. I'm going to pop that 1/4 x to the fourth out in front. They're being multiplied. Okay, now I'm going to subtract the integral of, what's my v? Well, my v is 1/4 x to the fourth, and my du is 1 over x dx. So this is where some simplification comes into process here. So I'm not going to touch this stuff out front. I am going to move this integral sign here just a little bit because I want to pull that 1/4 out. I don't really need my constant involved in what's going on here. But if you remember, like this x to the fourth is over a 1. So I can reduce this x with this one and make it x to the third. So then I've got x to the third dx left in this integration sign, which I can take the antiderivative of x to the third. Therefore, I don't need to do any more u substitution. I can take my green light here and do minus 1/4 times 1/4 x to the fourth plus c, and my final answer. And obviously, like if you have x to the fourth over 4, something like that, you know, that's always fine. I tend to do the fractions up front, plus c. So that would be your final answer using your u substitution. All right, so let's take a look at another one here. So again, what do we use for u? What do we use for dv? U is a function that we kind of want to make get smaller. dv is a function that's not going to matter. So if I look at 3x squared, if I make it u, it's going to start to decrease. It's going to be 6x, then it's going to be 6, then it's going to be 0. Whereas e to the negative x is just going to keep being e to the negative x or negative e to the negative x. Like it's just going to keep repeating that. It's never going to go away, honestly. No matter if I took the derivative or the integral, it never goes away. So I want to make the 3x squared my u, because I know that will eventually go away. However, the e to the negative x dx won't go away. And I hope you know what I mean by won't go away. It's going to continue to show up. It doesn't ever reduce, so to speak. All right, so let's take the derivative of this one. This is going to give me 6x dx. And if I integrate here, this is going to be a negative e to the negative x. That's me doing it in my head with a little u sub of this being a negative x, knowing that I have to have a negative 1 out front in order for this to all work out. So let us write what that is. So remember, I keep wanting to put the integral sign first. uv minus the integral of v du. So uv, so negative 3x squared e to the negative x. I'm just kind of combining those as I go. Minus the integral of v, so we got negative e negative x times du, which is 6x dx. All right, let's clean that up just a little bit here. We'll pull that negative sign out front, and so e to the negative x times 6x dx. All right, so what kind of issue do we have going on now? Are we able to integrate this or not? If you said you're not able to integrate this, you would be correct. So we have to do this one more step. I am again going to choose u equal to 6x because that is going to continue to decrease, and I'm going to make dv equal to negative, or e to the negative x, sorry. So v is negative e to the negative x, so many negatives, and du is equal to 6 dx. All right, so let's write that down. We have to carry this, negative 3x squared e to the negative x plus, put some brackets here, uv, so negative 6x e to the negative x minus the integral of v du, so negative e negative x times 6 dx. All right, so that's negative 3x squared e to the negative x minus 6x e to the negative x plus, watch what I'm going to do here. This changes to plus the positive, and I'm going to take this 6 out front. So plus the integral of 6 e to the negative x dx. So now, can I integrate e to the negative x dx? Absolutely. So negative 3x squared e to the negative x minus 6x e to the negative x minus 6e to the negative x plus c. So yeah, that is our final answer for that one. Beautiful. Okay, let's try to get this one done here. Now, this tabular method, there's another video on this, so I'm going to kind of go through it somewhat quickly. This is when we have to do, see how I had to do this process twice up here? This is when we have to do it multiple times. So how do I know when I can do it multiple times? Well, if I have an x to the third, I know I'm going to have to take the derivative of that until I get down to a constant before I can finish. And so that means I'm going to have to do this so many times. So I'm going to put u as x to the third in here, and then I'm going to put dv as cosine x. And as I work my way, the signs for this are plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. I may need to add another thing to this table. So as I take the derivative of u, I get 3x squared, and then I get 6x, and then I get 6, and then I get 0. Yeah, I missed a thing there. So now with this other side, I'm going to integrate cosine. So the integral of cosine, and I remind myself like this, I do cosine x up top, negative sine x, so going down is the derivative, going up is the integral or the antiderivative, and then sine x, cosine x. This really helps me to remember where my signs are. So if I'm integrating cosine x, I'm working backwards on this one, which is sine x. If I am integrating sine x, I'm working backwards on this one, which means I needed to have a negative cosine x to get that. And then if I'm integrating negative cosine x, then it needed to be negative sine x. And if I'm doing negative sine x, then it needed to be cosine x. So here's where the magic happens. We go like this. We take the top one and then multiply it by the second one. And we just keep going down until we get to here. And I stop because 0 is going to give me I'm going to multiply by something by 0. So here's how we do. We take the plus sign. I'm going to take it all. Plus x to the third sine x. Then I take the minus 3x squared times negative cosine x. Then I take the plus 6x times negative sine x, and I'm running out of room. And then I do minus 6 cosine x. So let's just check out those signs here. Okay, so I don't need this big plus sign sitting in the front. So x to the third sine x. And then right here, that's going to give me now a positive 3x squared cosine x. And right here, it's just going to give me minus 6x sine x. And then minus 6 cosine x. And plus c is your final answer. So basically the tabular method can be used at any time. We just tend to use it when there are multiple pieces, but you can go back and try the tabular method for these, this one up here in particular, because we had to do it twice, and you'll see it turns out exactly the same. So, you know, that's something you could do. Give that a shot. Try the tabular method with this one up here and see if it works. Just remember, your signs are always positive. Start with positive and they alternate. And then you're always multiplying the top one times the second one. So essentially, this top right one and this bottom left one go away. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any other questions while you're doing the worksheet. And as I said before, I do believe you need to look up the integral or antiderivative of natural log. Just Google it and it'll show you the antiderivative of natural log. Nothing I expect you to know for a test or quiz, but I think you need it for this worksheet. All right, thanks. Have a great day.